Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I continued my journey through the John Carpenter catalog this weekend, watching two more films that I had not yet seen from him. Those being the 1980 film The Fog and Christine that came out in 1983. So starting with The Fog is, I found, to be a bit derivative of Carpenter's own work of Halloween. It's a series of John Carpenter's staples, similar casting with Jamie Lee Curtis being present in the majority of the film. The score is nearly identical with obvious differences, but very, very close to the Halloween score. Similar use of jump scares and eerie cinematography. But with that said, I think that this one was a slightly more enjoyable story and film than Halloween was. I felt while Halloween didn't age incredibly well, and The Fog doesn't age really, really well either, I think that the use of subtlety in terms of these antagonists is a little better compared to Halloween. I think that the characters are more enjoyable compared to Halloween, and I felt that the pacing was better compared to Halloween. And they do a really nice job of setting this story up at the very beginning, as opposed to really leaving things open at the beginning of Halloween, where we don't fully understand why Michael is the way that he is. We get a really nice and succinct backstory in terms of what has happened in this town in the past and what will eventually happen in the future, setting us up for what will, again, eventually happen. Moving on now to Christine, which is a film that I've heard many good things about, just isn't a film that I hadn't had a chance to watch yet, or didn't feel the need to watch, or whatever the reason was. I'm not really entirely sure. I thought Christine was wonderful. It was a bit different than what I expected. Now, again, similar cinematic tropes, and the score, again, being very similar, even at one point where I looked up for a half a second, because I happened to look down and I heard a bit of the score being reintroduced, and I forgot for a second that I was not watching Halloween, that I was in fact watching Christine. What I love about this film is, as much as it is about the car being the main character, it's not about Christine. It's about this idea of being obsessed with something, someone's personality changing when they become obsessed with things. And I really enjoyed that this was more about the characters than, or like about the people, than it was about Christine the car. I sort of compared this to like Godzilla in that way, where Godzilla is our primary antagonist. There's a ton of development within the people, and that drives the film, and that allows us to better appreciate characters like Christine and, again, Godzilla. So while they're wildly different films, I found a connection in that way, and a way that works really, really well. So I appreciated that. So yeah, Starman, I think, is my next film up on my slate of John Carpenter films, so I'm looking forward to watching that because I've enjoyed the last few films that I've watched. I haven't disliked any of the John Carpenter films that I've watched. I think I would give The Fog something like a 7 out of 10, and Christine I would give an 8 out of 10. Again, I really enjoyed the character development, and I like that it was really focused on our main characters rather than Christine, our people rather than Christine. But also CGI, 1983, obviously had become more advanced at that point. It was being utilized far more often. Really well done. It holds up incredibly well, and it's a wonderful ending. So a 7 for The Fog, an 8 for Christine. And until next time, peace.